get an R. We didn't get an
Right.
R in the in chat, but obviously it's working out now. So
All good. Starting off for Order of the Black Rose on blue side, we have Twisted Fate, Viego, of course, Albi's #1 champion, and Mel. A very interesting choice. On red side for Silver Mains, we've got Ambessa, Aurelian Soul, and Victor. Very interesting.
yeah, Mbessa, Aurelian, Soul, and Victor, pretty standard bans against most players in this league. I feel like a lot of the mid laners just love rocking Aurelian, Soul, and Victor for sure. Mbessa just makes sense. A lot of the top laners, just a strong top laner in general. And when you're picking the Urgot, it's great to get off the Rift as well. But that being said, Polaris opting for that Urgot early on in this draft. I wonder if they're going to take away the Seraphine from Order of the Black Rose, or if they're going to let it go through.
Looks like it's going to be a Vigar pickup. I am interested to see Polaris getting his signature champ, but Albi not allowed to play Viego this game. We'll see how that works out for Order of the Black Rose. They are going to pick up the Seraphine. Ash Seraphine, definitely a very strong lane right now, and especially because if you have the double up on Seraphine's E, she is able to stun with an Ash auto.
Yeah, no, 100%. This is one of the most strong combos in, the LCS right now, across the world, really, in all of the major leagues. They're running this combo blind into almost every game as long as it's up. It's just great into almost every single matchup. Like you said, the Seraphine slow combos with the Ashe slow ends up snaring people, which is just so strong. I feel like Silvermane's had the opportunity to take that away from them, considering they had already shown kind of their hand at that point, but they might have been worried that a strong engager would have been picked into it, so maybe they opted, or maybe they had a better. Oh, okay, so they're just gonna pick the strong engager into it as well, so that kind of makes sense there. I wonder what bands are going to be getting into moving forward. I know that Albi has not picked his jungle champion yet, which makes me curious to know what he's gonna play, but I'm assuming we'll see some jungle bands coming out right about now.
And I would definitely like to see some more ADC bans from the side of Aura of the Black Rose, considering they have their strong bot lane. If they can ban out some of the longer range options like Caitlyn, definitely make that lane a lot more difficult to play, even with Nautilus. If you're forcing someone onto a shorter range like Kaisa, it could get very, very difficult down there, even though that is a good pairing with Nautilus.
Yeah,
But it will be
definitely.
the Jarvan ban. Interesting.
Yeah, Jarvan band, they really want to make sure that no one can touch their backline. They're not too worried about, champions like Nautilus, Urgot. You're really only going to be able to grab whoever's standing in front of those carries, but definitely wanted to take away any of those jungle options, those jump champions, as it were. I wonder if they're also going to ban something like Vi here and take that away from Albert. And no, they're going to opt towards the Briar. They must know something that I do not know.
I have seen Albi play Briar a few times, but I think his Jarvan and his Vigo are probably a bit stronger. On the side of Silvermane's opting for banning away some of those longer range options like Xerath and Ori, both really good with Seraphine. Once she ults, Xerath is just kind of able to ult for free. Ori really good at setting up some of those Seraphine engages, so definitely smart bans from the side of Silvermane's towards the mid lane. And
Yeah,
Nocturne's going to be the pickup for Albi. Very interesting.
yeah. Very interesting indeed. I think that I did figure out the audio issue. I'm going to test it out once Drafter is done, but that is the good news. That being said,
All right.
Albi with the Nocturne, like you called out, a lot of map control with this champion. Although it is going to be weaker towards the early levels, a lot of farming going on by Nocturne, trying to hit 6 as fast as he can. I wonder if they're going to pick a more early game focused jungler that's going to abuse the Nocturne. Okay, and it just is Johnny. So
Johnny. Okay. Very
yeah,
tanky option from the side of Order of the Black Rose.
yeah, very straightforward team identity, and very easy to execute. I actually think that if I was to pick against, between the two comps in this situation, I would much rather have the Order of the Black Rose composition at this point. The identity is really simple. It's very straightforward. You're playing out, through your CC and engage from the tanks. Seraphine and Sejuani provide plenty of appeal for the Ashe. The Sandra over the top. I mean, this team is just CC
Beautiful.
for days. That being said, I wonder if they are pivoting Viger into another lane or if they're going to keep him mid against Lysandra.
It could be a Vigar ADC. That is a potential, but I generally do not like to see Vigar down there. I think that he just takes too long to scale, and when you really want to accelerate your bot lane, especially given how strong that role is in the current season, I think that Vigar is not the best APC pick. But it will be the Anivia, so it looks like that Vigar is going bottom.
Yeah. All right.
Not a lot of interesting early game moves. We are seeing some Sejuani and Lissandra action, trying to get that early ward down.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to get some pressure over into Albie's, top side of his jungle. They're just gonna end up getting a ward down there. Doesn't seem like it's gonna end up netting them too much information. They are going to be starting on mirrored sides, so we may or may not see some fight towards the bottom river when that scuttle spawns, but we're just gonna have to wait and see.
I do like this move from Polaris, kind of sitting in that bush, trying to get the early pressure onto Gnar. He definitely knows, and he gets the early flash. That's insane. That's really, really good from Polaris. This is exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah, positioning him behind him like that really forces that out, and it is a smart play, you're right. Really heads up by Polaris. I wonder if they ever, scrimmed against this team and kind of took notes of where League of Lehigh likes to stand and, take advantage of it that way, or if it was just Polaris being Polaris and he just got a, lucky first play. Regardless, feels really good in that top side.
Yeah, and he's getting so much pressure on this Gnar early. He's forcing the wave exactly where he wants it. And with the junglers pathing away, it's going to be very difficult for Gnar to actually be able to do much in this lane until he resets. He's pretty much just going to have to sit there and watch the wave disappear in front of his eyes.
Yeah, exactly. And moving down to this top, or this bot lane rather, Curaeus and Captain Key.
I think.
Yeah, Curaeus and Captain Key should have a really good time in this lane. It is quite easy to poke out both of these champions in the early game. Assuming you do not get hooked from Nautilus, it is quite straightforward. You just stand behind the wave, and pretty good feeling if you're on the side of Ward in the Black Rose for this early game in the bot side. Meanwhile,
some very good moves from Seraphine, getting that early vision so they know exactly where Albie is. And I think Sejuani is slightly ahead on clear over the Nocturne, so we'll see that early, especially with the lane pushing towards them, we may see some early action down here.
Yeah, slightly ahead of him, which means that most likely, because they have that pushing bot, well, actually their lane's gonna push. It should push back by the time these minions are done. I wonder what they're going to do to get onto the scuttle. And no, I think Nocturne and Nautilus just a little bit quicker on the rotation there. Dank Pingu calling that out, rightfully so, to Albie. Them working together very well to secure that first scuttle. And I think Nocturne's going to back here, allowing Sejuani to just take the other scuttle without any combat.
Yeah, very interesting choice. I think usually when I play with my jungler, we look to try to double scuttle if we can. But I can also understand wanting to get off that early reset, try to go right back to your camps. His Raptor is respawning right now, whereas Sejuani's Gromp is still not up for another, 15 seconds or so. So she's going to be a little bit homeless for the next couple of seconds because she did her blue buff before.
I think the call there was to not fight over the top scuttle simply because of the priority that mid lane had. I think Philo was already pushing Anivia under tower at that point, so rotating up would probably be a bad idea, just considering that Philo could rotate quite quickly, especially on this Lissandra, and probably would spell bad news for Alvi, so probably just a safer play all around.
Albi is rotating his camps slightly faster, however. His Wolves are about 5 seconds behind Sejuani's chickens, it looks like. So he's now a little bit homeless.
Yeah, I think both teams are really completely fine with how this early game has gone. No early aggression, farming straight to 6, no problems so far. I think both of these teams really want to be in that spot. Nocturne, obviously, for obvious reasons, but if you're on the side of Order of the Black Rose, your team is, just a CC scaling ball of death. And so as long as you can just farm and get your, 1 to 2 items and start team fighting over these objectives, you're in a good spot.
For sure. And top lane has kind of turned a little bit. Polaris does get 6 before League of Lay. He does. However, it's going to be really difficult for him to walk up to this wave, and I think he really just wants to clear this and back.
I think Polaris actually needs to be really, really safe here. If he gets hit with another Q, I think it's quite easy for Lehigh to jump in. That being said, he doesn't have Flash, so I don't think he'll be able to close the gap that well. But if he gets close to his Gnar bar getting to full... Okay, Polaris flashes in, immediately knocks him back, and ult into the combo. First blood for Polaris on the Urgot. Looking real nice.
That's exactly what you want to see from this top lane. Polaris doing such a good job knowing the limits of his champion, knowing that the Gnar bar just is not full enough for him to really contest for that wave, and doing an amazing job of actually securing it. Thank Pingu.
Philo.
Looking for the play here.
Yeah.
So close, but it did force that ultimate out, did force the flash out as well from Philomena. Really, really smart play from the side of Silvermanes, just really abusing the pressure that they have in these lanes.
Yeah, Polaris, like you said, just a masterclass in understanding how much damage your champion can do, and really a master of knowing the percentages of health that you need to get Lehigh to in order to execute with your ultimate. Just, yeah, a great all-around play from him, and a cheeky little play from Dank Pangu. It didn't result in anything, but they did get Lissandra's ult down, so that will give a little bit more prioritization towards the Anivia in that matchup. You know, and at least they're trying to make something else happen around the map. That's really good to see. They've got a good play topside. Let's make something else happen off that tempo. So just good to see from these teams, you know, already in the first week of this league, trying their absolute hardest to get advantages where they can. Albi's up here, though. He's looking for his ultimate. He might be going back towards the bot side. Anivia, the lights are off. Anivia is getting ganked in the mid side, but Nocturne soon thereafter trying to chase down the Sejuani. Sejuani able to get away by burning his flash. And nobody's fall. But meanwhile, on the bot side, Captain K taking down Demps. We didn't really see it too well, but I'm assuming there was just a CC combo on that bot side. I would expect Dank Pangu to drop before Demps would in that combo, or in that matchup, but a kill goes over to the Order of the Black Rose, and they're going to be very happy about that.
Oh, and Albi just slightly messing up the smite on that blue buff, just not quite having it. Looks like a return kill, though.
Yeah, oh my god, the damage was crazy. Demps just assassinates Ash. I think Correas did not realize that he was in the worst place possible at that time. Gets caged, grabbed, and snared, and immediately just dies thereafter. Just some greed on the side of Order of the Black Rose coming back to haunt him.
Yeah, a very smart play from the side of Silvermanes, knowing that they have that TP advantage, knowing that they're able to get that cage off and capitalizing off of it, even forcing the ultimate out of Ash and make it really difficult for another play on that bottom side.
Yeah, difficult for a play on the bottom side, but I mean, I'm just very, very, curious as to why Ash stayed up there for so long. I wonder what the call was there. I mean, you're not really going to get too many plates. If anything, you get the 80 gold from that first plate, and I don't know. It doesn't really seem like that good of a trade, in my opinion. I feel like he should have just backed off immediately after getting that wave pushed and getting the kill. Because now you're in a spot where you're actually behind in this bot side.
And on top of that, both supports now level 6, both having access to their ultimates. The ADC ultimates are going to come up about the same time, but it looks like Demps is going to be slightly faster. And they are going to go for that Drake. Polaris on the top side did miss his ultimate onto the Gnar, which was a little sad to see, but I respect the attempt.
Yeah, I think with a level advantage in the bot lane, being that Demps is level 7, we'll hit level 7 first. Not to mention that they just had more lane presence combined with the Anivia. Shoving wave, I think it was just a bit of a handshake on the side of Order of the Black Rose to give the first dragon over to Silvermanes. That being said, Albi is using that advantage to try and invade, and he's going to get absolutely punished for it. Both Sejuani and Philo, we're going to have to get the Sejuani to turn off streamer mode, but Sejuani and Philo immediately punishing Albi for trying to invade, and going to go up to 2-2 off that play.
Definitely good vision from the side of Order of the Black Rose, knowing that the potential invade was there from the Nocturne. Albie just not respecting where the Lissandra could be. Did manage to avoid the ultimate using his spell shield on the Nocturne, but definitely disappointing to see him kind of just wander in there and get immediately one shot.
Yeah, no, just getting destroyed. I think Albie didn't realize that Sejuani had already pathed back towards the bot side once they took that dragon. Immediately punishes him for it. And, you know, to be honest, a little bit of a greedy situation on his side. And now Sejuani is almost, actually is more than 20 farm. Oh, no, sorry, almost 20 farm up. I was looking at the stream window, which is lower pixel resolution. I couldn't see the difference in the CS.
Yeah. Definitely good from the side of Silvermanes to pick up that early Drake. I think if they start dragon stacking, it's going to make the objective fights a little bit more difficult for Order of the Black Rose to actually compete against. And if you're able to get that early Drake, and if it's a soul like Mountain or Infernal, it's going to be really hard for Order of the Black Rose to play some of these team fights, especially against the Nanivia. More pressure coming out here in the top side from Polaris. He's just kind of perma-shoving those waves. Same thing for Philomena. Does have to use the claw to get back over the wall. But looks like Sejuani is in a bit of a spot here.
Yeah, in a bit of a rough spot indeed. But meanwhile, Polaris is definitely not in a rough spot, able to take out Lehigh. Meanwhile, back in the bot side, we've got a massive team fight. Captain Key will fall back down to Genetics. The entire team gets flung backwards. Well, meanwhile, Sejuani trying to get out of the death ball that is the side of Silvermanes, and they just get ran down. Silvermanes up 2-6.
A very interesting team fight, given that we had called out that Order of the Black Rose should have the better team fight, but they're fighting in this choke, which you would think is good for Captain K on that Seraphine, and did get a very massive ult off that captured 3 people, but unfortunately just not able to capitalize off of it because Philomena was so far away.
Yeah, very far away, not able to capitalize. And I wonder how the side of Order of the Black Rose is going to bounce back from that team fight. I mean, we're already seeing a 4K lead on the side of Silvermanes, which is pretty massive, being that it's only 12 minutes into the game. And so if you're on the side of Silvermanes, you're looking very good. You're very happy with the results. And at this point, you're just trying to play correctly through your side lanes, continue up the pressure that you've already built so far. You're in the driver's seat. There's really nothing else that you need to do except, you know, keep taking these objectives with this gold lead that you've amassed. I do have a question to ask you. What do you think that Order of the Black Rose needs to focus on? How do you think they can bounce back from this early deficit moving forward?
I really think they need to play around all 5 of their members being there. Nar is going to have a difficult time, but there may just be situations where you have to sack a wave or even first turret for an objective fight. Because right now, that 4K lead, half of it is on Polaris.
Yeah. Yeah. Half the lead is on Polaris, and that is scary. Urgot is not a champion that you want to give a lot of gold to. He will absolutely take advantage of it. He will absolutely run you over 2v1, 3v1. He can do it if he has the items for it. And, you know, he's already built the Black Cleaver, which is going to be massively important against both Sejuani and the Gnar, especially in these team fights, these long drawn-out team fights where he's applying multiple stacks of that Black Cleaver through his leg shots. Do you happen to know what that leg shot ability is called? I know it's his passive, but
it is called Echoing Flames.
Echoing Flames.
Which I actually did not know.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. That sounds like an ability that was meant for another champion, and they just were like, okay, we already copyrighted the name. Let's just give it to Urgot because we don't have something for him.
Yeah, I would be interested to hear the design room chat when it came to what they decided to give Urgot passive.
They should call it like King Crab Legs or something.
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
Meanwhile,
we are seeing the second breakout here.
Sejuani is in the death ball. The Seraphine ultimate goes wide, only hits Pengu. Pengu's going to get out of there. The darkness comes down. No one's going to get jumped on yet. It's kind of a stalemate, but Lissandra in with the massive multi-team stun followed up by the Sejuani ultimate is going to immediately nuke almost the entire team down. They're even going to pop the Anivia egg. Demps, in retaliation, is going to be able to take down the Ashe, but he will fall soon after as the Sejuani and the Seraphine jump on him right after that. Meanwhile, Polaris is here. He goes ahead and ultimates onto Lissandra, kills him. Sejuani falls soon thereafter. And after all said and done, Silvermanes does pull out ahead, and they will get the objective.
Yeah, that was such a messy team fight. A rough ultimate from Seraphine. A great move from the side of Philomena, just ulting in to the middle of 4 people. So much damage coming out, not just from the ultimate, but Malignance as well. Burning multiple people, and there's 3 or 4 pools of Malignance on the ground. Just stacking that damage over and over makes it so difficult to fight in that choke.
Yeah, 100%. And, Order of the Black Rose showing what this team comp was built to do. The Lissandra coming in immediately multi-man stunning, Sejuani following it up. I mean, those 2 abilities alone are enough to just make your skin crawl, because if your whole team gets hit by both, like we saw, you immediately get nuked. They're just lucky that the Anivia egg popped, and Demps had the damage to be able to get some kills back. Not to mention that Polaris was able to TP in. But Genetics, out of position, immediately falls down to a multi-man stun. There's another team fight going on. Albie drops down the curtain and is trying to get onto this backline, but he is being beaten up by both Sejuani and the Gnar. But it doesn't matter. Polaris is dominating. Demps takes out Sejuani, and there are no deaths, or there's only the Anivia death on the side of SM. Polaris flashes and goes back in, trying to grab Ashe, and he's just going to barely escape. Meanwhile, you've got the Viger trying to run down Ashe as best as he can, but SM getting the better half of this fight. Silvermanes showing why they are to be respected and why their team fight is still outmatching the plan that Order of the Black Rose had.
Yeah, that TP advantage really starting to show a little bit. Vigar able to TP to the other side of the map, where Polaris had TP to the bottom and so needed to be on that side for the team fight. Vigar able to TP in, and honestly, I am a little worried for the side of Order of the Black Rose right now. Their team fight is definitely strong, but man, it is so hard to play into this Urgot, and they just do not give him enough respect.
100%. I mean, hats off. I feel like we all need to recognize the kind of show that Polaris is putting on this game. He is showing why his Urgot should be feared, why you cannot just let him get this pick in any game. And I think a lot of the teams that are going to be playing Silvermanes in the future are going to take note of that. Something can be said. I'm going to turn this chat off because I realize that people can just see.
A great move from Genetics. Walking up.
Yeah, 100%. Great move by Genetics and the Viger to get the kill down there. Nocturne to get the kill down there. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Silvermanes getting a kill back onto Ashe. But Gnar ends up getting the kill onto Urgot. We didn't see that go down, but Nautilus, Stank Pengu's having to run away. Sejuani is going to be running him down with Seraphine. I don't know if they'll have enough damage unless Sejuani can keep up the stuns, and he does. Stank Pengu following thereafter. A bit of a blunder on the side of Silvermanes. That being said, they are still ahead by 5k. What exactly happened on that bot side? I think you were paying a little bit more attention to that than I was at the time.
Yeah, it looked like Genetics was just kind of camping one of the mid brushes, was able to get an easy stun off onto Philomena, and then saw where the claw was going. Albie ults over the top of that, and it's just good night to the Lissandra, unfortunately.
Okay, so Silvermanes playing towards their advantages, playing towards the world ult capabilities of the Nocturne, but at the same time, a bit of a misplay in that mid lane, not understanding where your advantages were. That your Nocturne had already gone bot lane. Obviously, or the back rows, great play on their end to recognize their lack of support from that jungle. Immediately collapse onto that mid side. That being said,
yeah, great play.
Go ahead.
Top side for Lee of Leahy to get that kill onto Polaris. This is definitely going to give him a lot of gold and put him a little bit back further into this game. Even though Polaris gets first third off of that, I think it's a worthwhile trade for the side of the Gnar.
Yeah. No, it is. Definitely a great play by Lehigh to get that kill. Feels really good and gives your team some confidence in your top laner who's kind of been getting beat up all game. Not in the sense of like feeding or anything, but just, you know, this top laner is so fed, it's kind of hard to stand against him at all. That being said, Polaris does have that, the winged moonplate in his item inventory, which leads me to believe he might be going either Kinnick Rukern or the Force of Nature to combat all of the MR on the side of Order of the Black Rose. That being said, we've got another fight on our hands. Nocturne's going to go over the top, trying to get onto the Seraphine, but his Seraphine's going to flash backwards and ult across the entire team. Meanwhile, Lissandra goes in, ult combos into the stun perfectly, but Polaris is taking out Kareus in the mid lane. I don't think they have enough damage on the side of the Order of the Black Rose. They have to get out of there. So, Sejuani is going to have to jump over the wall, and the objective, the third drink of the game, goes over to Silvermane's. That's Dragon Soul. Or Dragon Soul Point.
That is a very rough team fight. I really just wonder, like, how right now Order of the Black Rose is just being slapped by the wallets. Seraphine gets a great ultimate there, catches 3 people, and they're just not able to do really anything. They do kill Dems, which is good, but what do they do after? They just have to scatter. Their ashes being run down by the Urgot. Sejuani is just getting caught where she doesn't belong. Like,
yeah, there's no vision. Why are you there? Okay.
This 5K gold lead is going to get a lot bigger, a lot faster if things keep going this way. And it's looking a little rough. Now, that being said, they can't do this team comp again. Polaris can only get Urgot once a series at most. And so I do wonder what he falls back on here. He's known for the Urgot, but what else does he have in his back pocket?
Yeah, exactly. I think Polaris is a strong top laner. I don't think that his Urgot is the only tool in his toolbox. That being said, he is showing why this tool is a big fucking hammer, and cannot be ignored. You know, Silvermanes has been a team. These players haven't been, you know, on a team together for very long, but these players have played together for a very long amount of time. All of these players have been in the Discord for quite, you know, sometimes I'm not too sure about Genetics. I could be wrong here. Genetics seems like one of the newer players in my eyes, but I could be wrong. I'll get back to that point. Silvermanes is trying to down this Baron, and I don't think there's anything that Order of the Black Rose can do about it.
And a great call, I think, from Silvermanes here. The Baron will go over to them, and they understand that 4 people are walking bottom to attempt to kill Polaris, but he just has TP. He's just gonna go straight to the Baron. That's that pressure that we were talking about that he needs to create, and he's doing it very, very well.
100% agree with you, Matrix. I think the fact that Polaris pulled off towards that top side, I wonder if he's going to stay or if he's going to try to TP to get some advantage out of this. If I was Polaris, I'd stay. Yes, Polaris is staying. I think this is a great play. Polaris sees that Lehigh is on this bot side trying to get some kind of advantage of the fact that they took Baron, and he realizes no one can match me. If I just stay in this top side, I can draw so much pressure and probably get this tower. He is going to get jumped on by Ashe and Lissandra, which do have a lot of CC. But I think he's going to burn Flash, and he's just going to get right out of there.
Yeah, and I mean, what do you even do? Polaris is just going to walk towards this mid lane. Looks like Albi is walking towards bottom.
Yeah, go ahead and ult onto the Seraphine, try to run down Captain Key, and he's going to with the side, with Genetics doing a ton of damage over the top. Lehigh trying to get some kind of kill in retaliation, ults Albi into the wall. Albi trying to do what he can. The Conquer stacks coming to clutch, and he's able to get the kill there.
Oh, and Sejuani able to live there.
Barely, almost lost my voice there trying to cast that. But yeah, Nivea able to get a kill back onto the mid laner over towards that mid tower. And at this point, Albi is going to take away this bot side turret. Mid lane looks like they're trying to take this mid lane turret, which they should be able to. Demps with a few auto attacks should have this. And we're looking at a nearly 9K gold lead for the side of Silvermanes at only 24 minutes. Quite impressive for a first showing by this team.
Yeah, they're putting on a great show right now. I think even if Albi isn't absolutely carrying this game, Polaris is there to kind of make sure that his team is on top and he's doing an amazing job of it. Obviously, Genetics doing a great job in that mid lane, controlling these team fights, making space for the team. Sejuani is attempting to go forward in a lot of these fights, but with the Veigar and the Anivia there, it's just impossible for the rest of the team to walk up, and it looks like they're going to make the same mistake again.
Yeah, they are going to make the same mistake. Albie here immediately on the trigger with the Nocturne ultimate, trying to get some assassinations onto this bot side. RX Genetics is going to go ahead and finish the job, ends up killing Captain Key by himself, does a ton of damage at this point in the game. I mean, him and Demps have just built up so much damage at this point, and there just really isn't enough damage to answer it on the side of Order Black Rose.
And that's an Infernal Soul in 30 seconds, which for an Anivia is one of the best souls, I would say, in the game, aside from maybe Hextech. You put that ultimate down and you're just causing so much damage so quickly. And, you know, what does Order of the Black Rose even do into that? Sejuani is not able to find good team fights here. Ashe has to stand so far back. Philomena is trying to look for these engages, but with the zone that's coming out from the side of Silvermane, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, this choke point is so hard, but oh no, never mind. Philo immediately just gets absolutely nuked. Meanwhile, Albie holding his ultimate into the very last second to go in, does a ton of damage onto Sejuani, who has to back off. Lehigh will fall there soon thereafter after getting caged. Captain Key doing what he can to get away from Albie, but Albie is on the hunt. Flashes forward to try to get a fear onto Captain Key. He's going to get it, and Polaris with the alley-oop is going to end up getting the kill. This might be the end of the game.
Yeah, they definitely have the pushing power. I don't know if they have the wave. Sejuani doing a really good job dragging that away, and Demps attempting this kill. Does finally land it, but my goodness, what a great showing from this first game in Silvermanes. I really think it's so absolutely disgusting how the Anivia Veigar combo, it just, what are you supposed to do, man?
100%. And here we go. We're just waiting for, I believe, Order of the Black Rose to ready up, and we should be good to see what they've got cooking. And here we are. So,
I'm definitely excited.
Bans, TF, Aurelion Sol. I would assume that the first set of bans are going to be the exact same. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good guess. I think TF, Viego, and Mel are really good bans for the side of Black Rose. And for Silvermanes, I think that Mbessa, Aurelion Sol, Victor, probably very, very safe. I don't see any reason for them to want to change these bans.
Yeah, I think, don't, change what's not broken. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the old adage, right? And I think we're going to see all of the same bans. I can't recollect exactly what the third bans were. I knew what the first four were. Aurelion Sol, Victor. Victor on the side of
Victor.
Yeah.
Victor for Silvermanes, and it was Mel for Black Rose.
Yeah, 100%. Something else that's interesting to think about is that there are a lot of key champions in this current meta that are kind of off the board, right? Nar's gone. The Nocturne's gone. The Ashe Seraphine's gone. And I feel like there are a lot of pinched avenues now for both teams to kind of select from. The bot lane, I think, is going to be the most exciting matchups. Mid lane still has plenty, obviously, because we've got Anivia and Lissandra off the field, which, to be honest, are probably more of the more boring champions in the game. Jarvan immediately getting first picked. Interesting for the side of Order the Black Rose.
And it's also interesting to note that they did not ban Mel here. They seem more scared of Albie than they are Polaris, which I'm not entirely sure is a good thing. Albie absolutely is a great jungler in his own right, but I think that Polaris is one of the strongest players on this team, and I think they need to be paying a little bit more respect towards him. However, the Argot is out, and like I mentioned earlier, it's going to be interesting to see what Polaris decides to play next. Rel coming out.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I was going to say, you said Mel. Did you mean another top lane champion for Polaris?
Yeah. I definitely want to see a little bit more respect paid towards this man because he is a very good player. That being said, Rel Misfortune is also a very good lane and a good pickup for the side of Silvermane's early.
Yeah, but I think this is actually going to be the first sin counter for the side of Silvermanes. I don't think you can pick MF into Jarvan. I think that is so illegal. No, absolutely no escapes for this champion. If they pick one more immobile champion into the Jarvan, I am going to have to grant them a sin counter. That being said, Braum picked up for the side of Order of the Black Rose, probably the best pick you can play into the MF. Completely just negate her ultimate, bar stop just immediately at the start of any team fight. So that's a great pickup for them. And, I'm really curious to see what they're going to play as the AD carry response into the Rail Misfortune. There's plenty of options still on the board. Jinx is going to be more than fine. And, I just think a bit of a blunder for the side of, Silvermanes. You saw that they picked the Jarvan. You need to pick someone with some mobility, some range, at least, on this if you're picking an AD carry. Because that's all the Jarvan's going to go for is this MF.
Yeah, I think you called it out correctly. I think, honestly, Black Rose deserves a sin counter right now because Braum not being banned by the side of Silvermanes, if you want to pick up Misfortune, that is a huge misstep. And Shen is going to be able to protect that ADC somewhat, but Shen ultimate takes a long time, and Braum is just able to disrupt everything that Misfortune wants to do. So I really want to see Ari being banned on the side of Silvermanes as well. Just I don't know. I don't agree. I don't agree with some of these drafting choices because what are you gonna do?
I think the Shen is a good pick, right? You realize you kind of, you messed up, you made a mistake. You realized, hey, we've got nothing to really protect Misfortune from the Jarvan. The Shen does make sense, so you do get some redemption in my mind. But the sin has already been committed, and thus they deserve a sin counter. 1-0.
I'm gonna agree with you there, and I'm really curious to see what we get in the mid lane with Ari being banned. The number of champions that have the ability to get out of Jarvan ultimate in that mid lane is kind of reduced. So Xerath coming out as well, Pantheon on the side of Black Rose. We'll see what they wrap up with, but I don't know. I think this Jarvan is going to cause a lot of grief.
I'm just curious to see what they grab for their mid laner. If they pick another mid laner that's very immobile and just allows the Jarvan to just do whatever he wants onto both of these champions, I don't really care if you have a Shen ultimate over the top. The Jinx at the end game, especially if they have a stronger, more burst damage mid laner, is going to absolutely nuke through the shield and kill whoever's in the Jarvan ultimate. So this is going to be a really interesting pick here. I assume they're going to give Levi top counter, but we're gonna have to wait and see. They banned out a lot of mid laners, so they picked their jungler. Okay, so
Zinzao coming out for Albi. Now I will say the one potential mid laner that is immobile but could potentially save this draft is Talia. Talia into Braum and Jarvan would be kind of insane, I think.
See, I'm thinking of ways where you can kind of get out of Jarvan ultimate and still hurt Braum despite the shield. And as crazy as it sounds, champions that come to mind immediately are things like Fizz, but I don't think that's really possible anymore with Aurora being counted. And also, I think if Braum has his shield up and you throw Fizzult at him, I think it negates a lot of the damage, if I'm correct.
It does negate a lot of the damage, and I will be interested to see what they go for, but I also don't think that assassins are really
no, I don't think you can. There's not enough damage. Yeah, there's not enough damage. No, you can't go Fizz in this situation. But the Syndra and the Aurora pick, so Aurora shifting top against Shen makes sense. Syndra's too counterable, though.
That is an interesting pick. I am LeBlanc. It's time for the Black Rose reverse sweep.
The Black Rose reverse sweep. I would definitely enjoy a nice little, 1-2 win in either direction. A best of 3 would be very sweet. Of course, the likes of Silvermane stands to actually take away that 2-0 victory and really look good to the rest of their peers. A little bit of bragging rights there if they can go into the tournament talk after this game and talk their smack. Dank Pengu in a bit of a position, but just able to jump out of there, no problem. your thoughts about how this early game should go?
Oh man, Polaris definitely gonna have a rough time. I would like to see the bot lane get ahead for Black Rose. I think that Philomena is a good enough mid laner to not let things get too difficult in the mid lane, but we will see how RX Genetics plays that LeBlanc. And of course, Albi being the great jungler that he is, I expect to see him get plenty of advantages in that jungle.
Yeah, and I think something that should be noted is that there are plenty, between the two of us, we've got a lot of knowledge on the Cinder champion. I think something that, Philomena has to keep in his mind is that, you've got to hold that stun, or that pushback, rather, for when the LeBlanc dives in, and I think we did see that for a moment there in that mid lane. That's the only way you're ever going to win any of these trades, but it's such a hard thing to do because you do want to get your splinters built up as quickly as possible in this champion.
Absolutely. Force of Will, such a great skill into LeBlanc. And I will say that under most, in most cases, we see Philomena use it early. In most cases, I would take W over E second. LeBlanc is the single matchup where I would consider taking E second.
Yeah. No, 100%. I agree. I think this matchup is so abysmal, especially if you use that, if you use your stun early, or if you use your stun and it misses, right? You are cooked. You are beyond cooked. You're probably going to die, especially if you're, level 5+. And so that is going to be an interesting matchup to see. It's one of the reasons why we gave the side of Order of the Black Rose's Sin counter, is simply because of this pick being first. That being said, on this bot side, you've got Yop navigating over, probably just going for the scuttle, not looking for much of a fight, considering that Jarvan, or that Xin Zhao is on that top side. But Albi is definitely looking for a fight. A flash forward from Polaris, a snare straight into Lehigh. Lehigh has to flash forward, but the ignite is on him. Albi able to pick up the first blood, and Silvermane's going to feel really good coming out of that first win immediately into first blood in this game.
Yeah, definitely going to feel good for Polaris. Even though he does have to use both sums, Leahy does also need to use both sums, especially at TP, to get back into lane and not miss too much XP. He is going to miss quite a bit of that wave, and he's going to get jumped on again. Just not respecting Polaris on that Shen.
Yeah, and I think, if you give a lead to Polaris in this lane, it is so sad considering your kit and what you can do should give you the advantage in that matchup. But Polaris, if he is able to get some early MR, right, some early items that really make him kind of, able to wait out a lot of the poke that Lehigh is trying to put onto him, that lane all of a sudden is neutralized, and now you have a roaming Polaris that you really can't counter as Aurora.
Oh, Philomena, some great plays coming out, does manage to push back, and then plays inside the minion wave to avoid that LeBlanc stun. You absolutely... This is somebody who understands this matchup reasonably well. Definitely what we love to see.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if Genetics' knowledge of the matchup perhaps is higher than Philomena. In that case, we're going to see some stuff going down around level 6, but doing a lot of good return damage onto the LeBlanc on the side of Philomena. Yeah, really showing some finesse on the champion.
Yep, very good understanding of exactly how to play this matchup, and it's going to really... Look at that. Genetics is already getting hit on by Yop.
Yeah, he had to flash
and
out.
It will be a trade of flashes.
Yeah.
That Genetics flash for Yops. I think both champions not really requiring their flash to be able to get done what they need to get done, but man, it's so rough not to have that extra mobility spell.
Yeah, but you do have a bit of a confidence increase as Philomena on this champion if you're able to kind of push LeBlanc, away from you in these early levels, right? If you could get to level 10 without a single kill, like, that is... You feel great in this matchup. You feel, excellent going into the mid game.
Oh, I feel so hard for Philomena, man. That is just rough. That is... you know that he's looking for that kill angle right there, and to have it denied by Polaris so expertly is such a tragedy.
Yeah, I mean, Sin counter, I think we might need a Caster Curse counter, because that was way too picture perfect. I'm so sorry, Philo, for that. But, yeah.
I have felt that pain before.
Polaris showing, in the first game, hey, I can win the 1v1 matchups. I can win my lane, no problem. Second game, I'm showing why I'm a great support player, right? I can support my team effectively with the champion, with a toolkit that I've been given. Hits that level 6 perfectly onto Genetics, and Genetics able to get up the kill, or get off the kill, which just feels great. Silvermane's up 2-0.
Yeah, and starting to see that lead build again for the side of Silvermanes is definitely concerning for our full best of 3 hopes. But in the bot lane, definitely some decent moves coming out from the side of the Jinx and the Braum. It's going to be so key for them to get some kind of lead. And I think Yop really needs to make some moves down here. It looks like Albi is going to be the first one.
Yeah, Albi's already down here. Captain Key having to flash away, but gets stunned up by the Rel in turn. But they're going to be able to just walk away. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, LeBlanc is trying to get some trade damage over to Philo and does win that trade overall. Polaris and Lehigh fighting in the top side. Fights all around in every single lane. But Polaris and the extended trades is not what you want to be if you're Lehigh. You are, or Lehigh? Whatever it is. Taking way too much damage.
I think it's Leahy.
Leahy loses out on that trade in the long term just by virtue of the item difference that Polaris has brought to the table. Does have that Tiamat, just barely misses the taunt, so Lehigh is going to get the advantage of Polaris in that trade just because the taunt is now down and Yop is topside. It's going to force him off that wave. So a bit of an advantage, a bit of a win going over to the side of Order of the Black Rose is going to feel pretty good about that. But that being said, still a 2k gold lead to the side of Silvermanes.
And Polaris looking for that aggressive play once again. I think he's going to get punished here by Yop. He just does not know that Yop is up here.
Yeah.
Does have to use his flash, unfortunately, and we are going to get some play in the bottom side. K not able to get that level 6, just not able.
Yeah, Demps is going to get the kill, return kill onto Key. Meanwhile, Yop oversteps his boundaries, and Albi just gets the return kill. Meanwhile, LeBlanc with the Ignite onto Leahy is able to get the kill there, and all around a 5-0 lead for the side of Silvermanes. A great start for this team, and just showing why their laning prowess is just to be feared, right? I mean, Albi working with his top and mid side perfectly to get kills all the way around, and man, it's just a rough start to game 2. You're really going to have to hunker down both, with your skills and then mentally as Order of the Black Rose to make it into this game 3.
Yeah, definitely tough on that bottom side play. I think Misfortune doing a great job of using the ultimate, and Dang Pingu able to get level 6 off of that does just jump right in and disrupt everything that Braum wants to do. Braum not having that level 6 was unable to disrupt the bullet time coming from Demps, and it just becomes very unplayable, and Albi's going to make top lane even more unplayable.
Yeah, if Leah gets caught here, it's just so lights out for this top side. Going to have to use his ultimate to get away, but Albi flash predicts and dashes onto Lehigh. Meanwhile, he's getting ulted by Polaris, and the taunt comes through. Lehigh does get the trade kill, but Polaris living there is really what matters. He should be able to get even more of a lead on this top side. I think Lehigh is happy with the trade, but overall, oh no, Philo, please don't tell me you're going to fall too. Jarvan is chasing Genetics down.
Support.
Yeah, and Captain Key is going to have to use his blast code to get out of it.
What an amazing interrupt. Yop doing the perfect flag and drag to prevent Genetics from getting out. And Genetics had flash. I'm not sure why he didn't use it there instead of his E, but when you're that low, you just gotta play respectfully.
Yeah, just blow it early, just to get the distance. Like I think a lot of players hold flash for so long, thinking, hey, like I can hold this ability. They're not gonna keep chasing me, but you're gonna get chased. You're gonna get chased when you're that low. Just blow it early, get the distance that you need, and then it's just an easy escape. Yeah, let's talk about the jungle matchup. I think Jarvan getting that kill down there does make a bit of a difference. Polaris being a bit of a bully.
I am going to put some respect on the ops name. I think he's been making some good moves, and I do really like to see it. Speaking of which, he's looking to make one down here.
Yeah.
A great interrupt from Dom.
Yeah, it's not gonna. Oh my God! The ult over the top on the side of Demps is just going to annihilate Curious and Captain K. Yop's gonna be falling shortly thereafter, unless he has the combo up, which he should have in about a second here, and he does. Able to get away. Curious is under the tower as well, but is able to dodge Albie's dash, or his spear. And, you know, at the end of the day, what looked like a great attempt by the side of Lord of the Black Rose turns into a kill for the side of Silvermanes.
And Leahy's looking for the kill here, but he's out of mana. Polaris is just going to ignite and walk away.
Yeah, he's lucky that he lists that taunt. I think if he lands it, it's just game over. Genetics is taking a lot of damage here. He's getting leveled down, has to flash away.
Yep, great moves from Philomena. Definitely understanding this matchup. And I really think, oh, don't walk that way. Please don't walk that way.
Gets dashed on by Albie. Albie trying to wait for Genetics to do the follow-up, but this follow-up isn't there. Philomena, doesn't matter, is going to fall immediately to the damage from the Xin Zhao alone, and Albie on a 3-kill killing streak, I believe. I think he went 0-1 and now he's 3-1. Could be wrong there. Gonna turn around onto Yop, and Captain K thinks he has enough of help with Dank Pengu behind him to be able to keep chasing these guys down and guarantee that they get on to the next objective. Yop is gonna have to dash away. Captain K's there, flashes soon thereafter.
He is here for support, so definitely not a whole lot that Albie can continue to do. But man, you have a ward in that top push. You know that nobody's there, but you're walking back towards your turret. You cannot be doing. Just walk up the river, walk away. Don't. I can say this, I think, because I also tend to make the same mistake where I will walk towards my turret thinking that it's safer, and Jinx is just getting run down here.
Yeah, gonna have to be careful. If he gets 1Q by Demps, he's dead, and he does. Demps on a killing spree, 3-0-0, 100 gold, or 250 gold bounty to his name. He's looking mighty scary on this champion, and now that he's got that kill, he does have 17 stacks on that Hubris, and that's gonna help him do a whole lot more damage if anyone tries to fight him within the next, I think is it 50 seconds?
Hubris
90
is
seconds.
90 seconds.
Yeah,
actually.
so he's gonna have a nice little buff for the next minute and a half.
And that's great timing because the Herald comes up in about a minute and a half. So if he could rotate up there, he may be able to use a bit of that buff to get them some advantage.
Yeah.
Speaking of stacks, let's check in on Syndra. How many stacks does Philomena have? Looking like, I'm not going to say that number out loud. Philomena definitely doing well on the stack farming. It's about where you want to be on Syndra at this point in the game, especially into kind of a skill matchup. But Leahy...
Yeah, but oh wait, Polaris, the ultimate over the top. I didn't even see it because of the shield being dissipated. Immediately gets a kill onto Lehigh, and Lehigh is just having a tough go into this matchup. This matchup that we felt like would have been so much easier for him to execute against the Polaris. But Albie is just showing why it doesn't matter. He's spending so much time on his top side. Meanwhile, Philomena is going to fall too soon thereafter. Albie in every lane all at once.
Yeah, Albie is doing an amazing job of rotating around, and he's really showing dominance over this jungle matchup. Understands the Xin Zhao and how to play it. He's 2 levels up right now, just taking the blue buff in the face of Yop.
Oh no.
On this bottom side, definitely has some rough play here. Flash forward by Demps.
Yeah, flash forward and kill soon thereafter.
It's just so rough. Captain K not having that ultimate means that they just kind of have to stand there in the middle of that bullet time.
Yeah, I think out of all the, the entire team comp in the game, right? Like, Genetics picked the LeBlanc. It's good both against the Syndra and against Yop's Jarvan, obviously, because of the fact that you can just jump away from the engage. But so that really leads you to believe, okay, Yop has one job then, and that's really just to focus on this bot side, gank this bot side as much as he can, and no matter how many times he tends to go bot side, it feels like Albie just has his number. He's been tracking him this whole game and just immediately counter ganks him, and man, it's just rough for the side of War of the Black Rose. Nothing's really going your way, and now you're facing down a 7k gold lead at only 15 minutes.
See your spirit.
Yeah, Polaris getting that first turret is going to be really rough. I'm going to be completely honest. I do not agree with Philomena's itemization here. I think you just need as much damage as you can. I understand the desire for that Blackfire torch, but man, it's just not what you need here. You need the damage. You need the magic pen.
Yeah,
you need it now.
I am also a Blackfire torch hater. I
do love it in certain conditions.
I think the merc treads are fine into the LeBlanc, but
I think merc treads are okay. I'm gonna be completely honest. When I'm playing any kind of like mage, like very strong AP heavy mage, I just don't like not having the damage and the magic pen that you get from. Oh, we got to play from Yop here.
Yeah, Yop's trying to get something done onto Demps, and he does. Demps flashes into the ultimate and ends up getting falling there soon thereafter by Carius. This is Carius' time to shine. He's trying to do what he can. Let's see what he can do. Trying to get some auto attacks on the Dangpangu. Dangpangu takes him down. We've got Polaris in the backline. Polaris is able to assassinate him without any care in the world. Captain Key's going to have to back out. Tries to get his shield down, but he's not going to live soon thereafter as Polaris gets the final kill onto him. Philomena has to be careful as well, but he's going to get taunted. RG Genetics is doing too much damage. Dangpangu able to get out, and Polaris takes the last tower shot. And after all is said and done, not a single kill. Oh no, Demps does fall for the side of Order of the Black Rose, but 3 fall on the side for the side of Silvermane's, and Silvermane's gonna be very happy with that pickup, and they're gonna get the dragon soon thereafter.
And that is a 7k gold lead at 17.5 minutes. That is wallet diff, what we just saw in the bot lane. I mean, great look from Yop, and they've tried that play before, but this time it does actually work out. Demps falling on for the side of Silvermane's, but the rest of the team just there to back up, and unfortunately Polaris just did not have that ultimate, and so was unable to save his ADC that time, but they just clean up the rest of the fight, and I think every single time Silvermane's is going to call that worth.
Yeah. I mean, the good news there, if there is any, is that Carius did get the kill onto the MF, got the shutdown gold. That is the one champion you need some gold onto if you have any hope for this mid to late game. You know, and they do take out this Rift Herald, so hey, good on them. They've closed the gap, the gold gap a little bit. It is now only, 6.5k gold.
And they did delay Silvermane's Drake Soul by 1 dragon. So some advantage there for their side. They're not.
Though. I think they got the first dragon.
Yeah, but they're not facing down a 22 to 25 minute Drake Soul. It's more like 30 minutes. But Philomena is just absolutely.
He's dead. He's dead, and there's nothing they can do. He can try to get some damage onto Demps, maybe try to get some return damage, but correctfully so. I think Order of the Black Rose drops the Herald in the mid lane and is trying to get something back. Let's see who can get the tower first. It doesn't really matter because first tower's already gone. But it's just for the brownie points. Yop is going to stay with the team. Should drop the shield, or the flag, which should allow Carius to get a little bit more damage. But nope, they're going to have to get out of there because Albie is on the chase. He's going to use everything trying to kill Yop. Oh, we got Polaris over the top, and now there's 2 flashes bouncing just to try to get the kill, and Albie is going to end up killing Carius off the back end of that fight, along with the Captain Key on this Braum. I couldn't think of the name. It's just a great 2-kill play for the side of Silvermane's, and a bit of an overstay by the side of Order of the Black Rose. Speaking of which,
a good call, absolutely, to get that mid lane turret. Ooh, Albie in some trouble here, but Polaris.
I don't think he's in any trouble. He's got so much healing from the Conqueror stacks. They just turn around and get another kill onto Yop. Oh my gosh.
Definitely what I was trying to say before. Definitely a good call from the side of Order of the Black Rose to get that mid lane turret to try to trade back for all 100%. The pressure that is happening on the bottom side. But
yes.
And that overstay was just so brutal to watch. I think some tilt coming out from the side of Order of the Black Rose because there's no reason to be there.
Yeah, I think something that I was trying to mention during the last game, but I think I got interrupted by some other things that are happening in the background, was that, you know, this team, this Silvermane's team, they've been playing together for quite a long time. The players have not all been on this team, but the players themselves have been doing some, you know, weekly games, some scrim games, you know, flex games, you know, our Friday night fun games. They've just played with each other so much. They have a lot of, you know, synergistic tendencies already built in just by virtue of being kind of friends off the Rift. And so, you know, we're just seeing this amalgamation of their, you know, the communication skills they've built up over these past few months kind of coming to fruition and getting them a nice lead in the second game, whereas the Black Rose, more, you know, a lot newer to the league. I think a lot of these players are relatively new to the server when compared to the team, to the rest of the players on Silvermane. And so, you know, it might take a little bit longer for them to kind of get their, you know, foot through the door, get their strategies locked in, how they want to play the game, how they look at the game. And, you know, we're going to have to wait and see how they can improve after this set. But that being said, very impressive stuff coming out from Silvermanes. I'm really excited to see what they do moving forward.
Absolutely, they're definitely showing their dominance here on the Rift. Goodbye, Yop. I was just about to compliment you, and there you go. I do think that there are very good signs of life coming out from Order of the Black Rose. I think they're making some smart moves on occasion, but it's just so hard when you're, like you said, playing against a bunch of players that have played together for a long time, know each other reasonably well, know how to communicate together, and are good friends both on and off the Rift. So some of that synergy showing up here is Baron will go over to the side of Silvermanes. Completely uncontested.
Uncontested, and we're looking at nearly a 10k gold lead at 22 minutes. I mean, I don't like to say throwing the white towel, but we're getting closer to that point. It's seeming like the only way that Order of the Black Rose can really stay, you know, in this game is they've got to hope and pray that they can delay this Dragon Soul long enough for the Jinx to get a few more items. I would say at least 2 more before she can really start carrying team fights. And even so, you've got so many threats on the side of Silvermanes. That being said, we've got a fight going on the top side. They're trying to get a kill onto players that would net them a nice chunk of change, but Lehigh is low, and so is Yop. And it doesn't matter that you're 2v1. Polaris is going to show you why you've made a mistake, and he ends up getting the kill and the 2v1 onto Lehigh, showing his dominance on this champion once again. 6-0-6 with a 700 gold bounty.
Yeah, objectively the correct call to go top lane and try to get something on the other side of the map, because you just know that you're not going to be able to contest for that Drake. But you got to bring more than that. You got to bring the whole team if you're going to kill Polaris, especially because he's 6-0. You can't do it by yourself.
Yeah, you can't do it by yourself. Polaris is a threat to be, you know, a force to be reckoned with. You have to basically launch the entire team at him, especially with the items that he's itemized. He's going to beat you in just a few auto attacks with how much damage. But Yop, looking like he's in a bad position once again, has to flash back over towards the side of Silvermanes. Let's see if he can keep them on a wild goose chase. I would expect that the oh no, Genetics is going to eventually catch him down and should be able to assassinate him soon thereafter. Yop able to jump away. Let's see if he can get away here. Or at least execute or die to Pengu. That's probably your only best option. It's not going to matter. Genetics is going to end up getting the kill here. And Yop falls soon thereafter. It feels like a bit of a desperation play.
For sure. He does manage to waste some of the Baron, and I think Silvermanes only has like 2 or 3 waves left that they can actually get something done. So we'll see if they can actually crack the base, but I'll be getting Polaris to ult over the top of them here.
Yeah, they did get the flash out from Demps, which is going to feel pretty good. But it doesn't matter. Albie is jumping over the top. The ult from Demps is just going to absolutely annihilate Captain Key. League of Lehigh trying to do what he can to get out of this fight. He's just going to fall soon thereafter to Albie, and Albie is dominating on this Xin Zhao. I think the story of this game has really been Polaris and Albie working together so well in both games, it would seem, to really put a punishing, the punish. Bring the hand, bring the punish, bring the pain,
bring the heat.
Bring the pain.
Bring the pain, bring the
down,
heat.
that's
sure.
the one. Bring the pain down onto Order of the Black Rose, and I really don't think there's much you can do. You have to pretty much just let this tower fall if you are down a member, unless you just get some absolutely insane engage from Captain K and Philomena getting some kind of double stun. or a knock up into a stun, but the side of Silvermane is just going to back out. They don't need to risk anything. They're just going to play their game, play it slowly and play it safely, and just win the game naturally.
Yep, that Baron has run out now, and there is a lot of gold in the pockets of Silvermanes right now. They need to spend it. Speaking of which, I want to, since we are both Syndra mains, I want to return to the Syndra itemization here. I'm not sure I agree with the second item, Cosmic Drive, but you have a different opinion.
The idea is that, okay, the items do have some great synergy with each other, and it is a very standard build. It almost feels like Philo is like looking at u.gg build recommender and, you know, just picking whatever the Koreans play. And this build is good, and it's fine if you are even or winning your lane. It is not good or fine if you're behind, because now your damage has been delayed until like 4 items. So you're gonna have to wait and see if you know.
I mean, me personally, I would be building Leandria second. I feel like I know that Syndra is probably one of the best users of Cosmic Drive in the game, but man, you just don't have the burn damage. Like the Blackfire Leandrius is just so strong.
Yeah, I think either way, you don't have any damage, and you're kind of cooked. I think as soon as you build the Blackfire Torch, you're cooked in your damage. You have to basically wait until your 3rd or 4th item before you even do anything.
Yeah, for sure.
How many splinters does the Syndra have right now?
Let's see. Syndra is currently on 117, so we were doing well, and now we are not.
3 more splinters.
We're almost there.
And she'll have the AP increase, which will help with the damage a little bit. Gives a nice 15% boost to the AP overall, which is kind of like a miniature Rabadon's passive, which is nice.
Does not look like she's going to get to live that long, though.
It's a nice still on the genetics, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Pengu is going to come in right over the top. Ends up getting the kill onto the Syndra. Is going to stick around and try to get some more damage onto Captain K. Will fall there soon after. Albie getting another kill onto the Braum is godlike at this point. Soaking up a lot of this damage. It may look like he's going to fall, but he's not. Demps over the top, ulting just to keep them away so they can take this inhibitor. And Lehigh just steps a little bit too far forward and falls soon thereafter. 3 dead on the side of Order of the Black Rose. If they play safely, this is going to be the end of the game. Yop trying to go in and try to do whatever he can, but he ults onto Genetics, who has the ability to just dodge out immediately with his abilities, so Yop is going to get chased down. Probably is trying to just waste Steps' time, to be honest, but it's not enough time wasted. Philomena has 7 more seconds, Captain Key 6, and those aren't the champions that you want to prevent yourself from going down 0-2. Silvermanes going up 2-0 the series, going to take this match and this series.